Hello.
Hey, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Hey man, doing all right. How you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm having a good night. I'm almost done with editing my video, so happy
Very nice.
about that.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe do a quick intro for the stream if you can. Just where you're from, how long you've been playing, goals for the game.
Sure, what's up? My tag is Posh. I go by Brennan in the real world. I am from SoCal. Started playing Melee when I went to UC Riverside and then moved to LA for a little bit. Now I'm based in Orange County. Been playing for
Okay.
about like 5 years. Falco player. Not trying to be the best player in the world or anything, but would definitely love to sharpen my game. I know that I definitely have some areas, specifically punish based and then getting pressured, that I have a lot of trouble in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I
But
went to UCR also.
yeah, no, I heard. Yeah, nice.
Okay, so you sent me some slippies where you said here's a couple games against some unranked Falco. Is this the one you want me to look at first, or?
I'm honestly still deciding. I feel like I watched all the ones I sent you over, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I was playing especially horrendous in that one. I
Mm-hmm.
feel, potentially the most recent one I sent, I think is more or less how I usually play.
All right, why don't we just watch that one first, and then we'll see where we want to go from there. Then.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
So let me pull it up really quick, and then I'll screen share you. Okay. Okay. So do you have any thoughts on this? The screen share is working, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on this particular match that you want to mention before I start, or you want to just talk about stuff as we go?
Sure. I This match I watched it over and I was particularly upset with how much I was relying on just kind of like the retreating laser. Just I feel like I just got fucked so many times. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but I feel like I just got messed up so many times just doing that as a reaction to Fox running at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm trying to come up with better ways to deal with that besides just like, obviously I know dare in place is something that could work, or
See, well, lucky for you, this is the exact topic of my video.
oh, nice.
So that'll definitely be nice, I think.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'll take a look at that. So this was you confirmed this, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm lasering him out of the air, so I can probably nair him here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is a very small note, but Fox falls so fast that you basically can't really hit this. Like you jump pretty fast, and you just had no chance. The better answer here, normally, assuming they're not gonna like double jump out of it,
Hmm.
is like do short hop and then wait for them to land and then late dare.
Oh, gotcha.
You
That makes more
probably
sense.
won't get like a combo, but you'll get a really strong situation, and like late dare pressure, like late dare wave shine pressure on shield when he's at 0 is pretty strong.
Hmm.
I like that you did the wave shine pressure here though, right here, because I was just mentioning that. Like wait, like shine, wave shine. Yeah, so that was good. Good down air too. You got some damage. Hmm. Yeah, okay, so if you hit a laser at close range, like you reacted to it basically the first time, but if you hit a laser at this close, whether he's on the ground or in the air, you need to like channel your inner caveman. Like, because what you want is, because I've played this matchup a lot of times from the Fox perspective, I have a lot of hours in it. And if I know that the Falco wants to reset here, I feel like I have a ton of control. It's like I'm faster than you, so you can't move back. I'm close enough that if I full hop aerial with Fox, like full hop nair or something, it'll catch your short hop jumps. Like a lot of things. If I think you're trying to like play safe once this situation has already happened, it's just really bad for you as Falco. But when I'm playing any Falco who's like a total idiot, or like maybe they just like are being really lazy and they want to be really aggro, then like it puts me in a situation where if I get lasered here, I'm just thinking, oh man, like I just don't want to get hit by down air. You know, down air is so stupid, I'm gonna back off, and I'll usually dash back here or like shield. And so whenever Fox manages to get this close and you've lasered him, this is a situation where you have to be aggressive. So either going for like an instant attack here, or going for like dash back and then instant attack. Assuming he stays in this spot, so basically your options are either go in or go back, see if he went back. If he didn't, go in.
That makes sense.
And it's kind of like if you're trying to play a really safe, solid style as Falco, and you basically want to prevent Fox from ever getting into this range without being in laser disadvantage. But because you have him in the laser disadvantage here, like you have to recognize that, yeah, he's faster, but you're ahead on frames.
That makes sense.
Because of the laser stun. So if you aren't taking this position where you're right next to Fox and you're ahead on frames as like a time to be aggressive, you're not going to really find many other opportunities for it. Does this all make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know why I actually dash back here. I notice sometimes when I watch myself play, I have very favorable situations that I'll just disengage from. And
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like that kind of just happens to everybody. Like that's how playing this game is. It's like a big struggle like against your own habits. Because like the way you feel and the way you think in the moment has nothing to do with the fact that like for a year you've like dash backed in this spot or something like that, you know? And so a lot of times it's just repeatedly seeing a situation and being like, wait, I shouldn't have done that there. I should have done this. And eventually your brain will catch on.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So the iron rule in this matchup, the most important rule out of the whole matchup, is do not allow Fox to fall on you under any circumstances. If Fox is falling on you from above, you have like basically at best a 50-50. And that's like at best. The majority of the time you are at like a big disadvantage from him like back airing or drilling or whatever. Yeah, you have up tilt, but like I said, at best, basically unless you're frame perfect on the up tilt, it's a 50-50 on his full hop. And like on fast fall or no fast fall. So it's really not good to get underneath Fox, or at the very least, like maybe someday in the future Falcos are good at fighting underneath Fox, but at least in the current meta, based on everything we currently know, Fox is significantly stronger in that position where he's falling onto Falco. So what I try to do is if Fox is going to fall on me, I literally don't engage. I try to get out of the way as fast as possible. It's like, yeah, it feels bad that he's like full hop double jumping, but like I've had, you know, SFAT and who knows who else do this to me a ton of times, and there's just no reliable punish without stepping into like the way of them falling on you with something really dangerous.
Gotcha.
So anytime Fox goes up here like this, your options are basically, you have two options. Option one is get out of the way and get ready to laser right before he lands so that you have a laser advantage on his landing. That's option one. And option two is you get up to like, let's say he jumps up here and I would dash back and land on this platform so that like when he lands, I'm coming down on him. And as the Falco, you want to be the one coming down on Fox. When Fox is like, mostly because when you're below Fox, he can drop on you instantly with no warning at pretty much any point. Like, let's say he's on the platform above you. But if you're above Fox, like, let's say you're on the platform, a lot of his stuff doesn't work. Like, none of his short hop stuff works, right? So he needs to full hop. And then, maybe short hop up air poke on this stage, but still. So it's like, he usually needs to full hop, and he doesn't really have moves that, like, will get him a lot off of that full hop, like maybe Nair or Bear, but usually you just kind of fall off the platform or get a little bit further away and he doesn't have anything. So when he's coming up to get you, he kind of only has like up air. Like shine doesn't really work either when you're on the platform because he won't get a tech chase out of it. So there's like a bunch of factors that come into it, but basically you want to be the one coming down on him. So playing this spot where you're like, I'll catch him as he's landing, as he's coming down, just basically try to avoid this in general. And I would say that like basically learning this lesson like completely changed my perception of the Fox matchup.
Oh dang!
Like by like a huge amount. Like I learned I because I had like a few things like over the last few months. I was like kind of thinking this a bit. And I kind of felt it intuitively from the Fox side. But then once I made it like a hard rule to follow, I've been like, for the last maybe 2 months, I've been only following that rule in the Fox Ditto, and it's just been massively helpful. Or not the Fox Ditto, Falco Fox, sorry. Versus Fox. I don't know why I said Fox Ditto.
Yeah, I will definitely keep that in mind then.
Okay, so one thing is that a lot of times Falco's dash dance, the purpose of Falco's dash dance is not really to play full stage neutral. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose because the purpose of dashing back and forth is like threatening that you're going to take space on either one side or the other, or like take space or give space up. Like you're kind of making it ambiguous which one you're doing. But when Falco dash dances, he mostly just stays in place. So, like, his dash dance isn't particularly threatening on, like, where he's gonna dash to. It's more about getting dash momentum. Either, like, dashing in with the dash momentum, or slightly moving back and then coming in with the dash momentum. Those are, like, that's kind of the purpose of his dash dance. And it makes it kind of different from a character like Fox, who basically always wants to be dash dancing. But with Falco, if you're this far away and you shoot this laser, the power of the laser makes it so like you don't have to dash dance here, because there's no like mix up that you need to worry about, because the laser is dealing with Fox for you. So when you're at this big of a range, you can just fire this laser and just jump in and shoot another one. Because you're so far away that even if you jump in and shoot another one, he can't up smash you or anything like that, because this first laser is like covering your space.
Right, that makes sense.
So yeah, this was just like an opportunity for you to like claim center here, and you used it to kind of dash dance. And that it's just like sort of understanding that this, you don't need to really dash dance with Falco unless you're in a range where your dash dance down air or whatever might hit Fox. So if you were like right here, this is a good spot to dash dance because you're threatening coming in on him. But if you're any further than that range, you want to just be lasering here. Just like pew, 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 pew. Like literally.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, so then this spot. Oh, I've felt this spot so many times. Right here. My instinct here and what I think is... So there are ways to cover this. Falco can beat this. It's a slow fall nair. He can beat it by... He can do crouch shine, and crouch shine, if you're frame perfect, will beat this. Like it'll do that thing where like, you know, he's invincible on the frame he shines you. Mm-hmm. So you can get away with that in some circumstances. You can CC shine here. Maybe this one you probably could have CC shine because he had like forward momentum. Yeah, like here, if you had just CC'd after this laser, you could have gotten it. But a lot of times you are going to end up doing some dash like this, so you don't have like a free CC on this nair. Mm-hmm. And usually the best option out of this, once you realize what's happening, is to just roll.
That makes sense.
Because if you roll, you're preventing any situation where because right here he can either land on the plat and drop on you, or he can just drop straight through on you by just like slightly missing the lip here, which he does. And both things would have just lost to you, like, rolling there. So that's just sort of ties into, like, the don't let him fall on me. If he's coming and he's going to try to fall on me, I'm just going to roll. Get out of the way. Don't play that situation.
Right.
Okay, so this is good, where you're close, and he's in the corner, and he's right next to you, and so you're going for, like, basically these aerial mix-ups, and so this is good. He did this dash dance thinking you were going to, like, laser or try to be super safe here, but once the distance is closed that much... The thing is, you don't have to necessarily go for, like, an aerial here. You can go for, like, a laser, too, or something like that. It's just the intention needs to be more aggressive when you're in that close. So this was good. You get him. Slight mistake on the combo there. It happens. Okay, let's see right here. This dare's not great, but not a big deal. Like this one.
Yeah.
It's more like you're like, man, I finally got into this situation that I kind of like, and now it's gone because I messed up. And then the down air was kind of you just like being a little bitter about it, being like, man, it'd be nice if it was still going. But it's not. Okay, so slight messed up combo. This back. What was that?
I think you stopped sharing your stream. I can't see it anymore.
Wait, really? Oh. Okay, Discord just did that. I haven't clicked on it at all.
Oh.
Really weird. Okay, it's back now?
Let's see. Watch stream. Okay, yeah, we're back.
Okay, cool. Weird. Okay. So, right here, this up tilt was good. You're trying to punish him going for your landing. I'm going to move a little bit faster. Okay, so this was... I actually really want to just go over this back air really quick. I like this back air. It's not... like, basically, maybe you could have done a little bit more over here in the corner, but one thing with Falco Fox is I always tell myself is basically don't ever be afraid to reset because Fox is the Chaos Master and you're trying to, like, put him in line. And so anytime there's a situation where you just don't know what's going on, you're kind of afraid of him, don't be bothered or don't feel bad about just hard resetting. So you go for this reset, and this is good, and he falls for it, and he gives you this. The dash attack is fine here. If you actually... Albert does this a lot, where if he catches this laser, he always just does dash JC Shine. And I've played him as Fox, and I get caught by it every time, so I think it definitely works there. But dash attack isn't bad. Okay. Nice tech, wow, okay. Okay, not bad. Corner pressure. Okay, so I go over this in my video that I'm releasing like tomorrow, but basically if you land a laser from like this distance, like you're pretty far away, and I mentioned it a second ago too. Basically if you hit a laser and you're this far away, there's nothing he can do to like prevent you from shooting another one. So by shooting the laser and then, because the whole point of the laser is basically that basically against any character in the game, the laser gives you a frame advantage because you're able to move like here, and the laser still hasn't hit them. So they have to deal with the laser while you're actionable. And so when you're at close range, the laser dash dance is really good because you're like creating a frame advantage for yourself, which makes, you know, down air, nair, grab, all these things really strong threats because your opponent is, you know, frame negative. And so they're scared of all your stuff. So that's why it's so good at, you know, close range. But at this far range, you know, it doesn't really matter if the laser, like what the laser does, because if you dash dance, like, your laser is not going to get you anything because you dash danced here. That's all I'm saying. Your dash dance isn't like baiting him to throw out an up tilt or something after laser. Because if you're close, if he was right here and you do laser dash dance, maybe he whiffs an up tilt and then you get a nice punish. But at this range, he's not afraid of anything. The only thing Fox is afraid at this distance is more lasers. So if you just shoot this laser and you just keep going, eventually he'll have to do something about it. And when he does something about the lasers, that will put you in a position where you can outplay that. So just shoot lasers, see what he does. Does he try to get in? If he just lets you sit there and laser him for 10 seconds, then you have a bunch of extra damage, so that's not really too much of a problem. But basically the idea is if you just keep lasering from here, you know, like, you can't hit him, but he can't hit you. And so as long as you're lasering him, at least he's annoyed, and he might, like, jump out or something and give you a free opening. But yeah, the dash dance here doesn't really work too well for that reason.
Yeah, it's a bad inclination I have, is what I'm learning.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, the idea of, like, the first not the first, but like I would rather you be laser dash dancing too much than be a Falco who doesn't know how to dash dance. Which is you'd be really surprised. Like like even like good Falcos, like Mango literally will talk about how when he plays Falco too much and he doesn't put any time into Fox, for him personally, he like forgets to dash dance as Falco. And I yell at Magi all the time because she just forgets to dash dance for like a whole tournament. She just won't dash dance. And so,
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, and it's because not dash dancing it's because as Falco, there's no right answer all the time. As Fox, you're like, oh, I'm on the ground, I just need to press left right all day long. But as Falco, there's different ranges and different situations where you can dash dance and where you shouldn't, or where you don't need to. And so being able, like, so I'm much happier because this is how my Falco, was when I'm not saying like you're just starting out, but what I'm saying is like this was how my Falco was initially, which was more just laser dash dance heavy. And I think that's a lot better than just being like a laser approaching laser Falco, where they just do laser approaching laser and they're not really like paying attention to their opponent. So I prefer this because you're doing a laser and you're trying to bait them. So basically the only lesson is just, laser dash dance good when you're close, laser dash dance useless when you're really far. So when you're far, don't worry about dash dancing, just do laser approaching laser or laser in place laser, and then when you're close, that's when the dash dances start to take effect.
Yeah.
So right here, this was fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. Like, basically, once he's over 50, the early down air and the late down air are just a 50-50. Because they both, like, knock down. At, like, lower percents, you really want to do, like, a lot more late down air. But at this percent, the early down air basically kills, so there's no reason not to do it. Okay, the evil dash attack that tempts us all. I do this like once a day. I do this dash attack, and I just like, what's wrong with me? Okay, so I like these full hops a lot. Yeah, like this. That was good because you're coming down on him. I'm just gonna watch through kind of to the end of this match unless I see something crazy.
Sure.
And the more thoughts you can provide, the better. So let me know if you're having any thoughts about this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So a lot of this stuff right here is just the whole like not interacting with Fox when he's above you.
Yeah.
Like you should just leave. And then look at this spot. As soon as you're the one coming down on him, like right here, it suddenly feels really nice. Like, oh yeah, like I have all these options. This didn't necessarily work out for you, but a lot of times these types of situations do. And then as soon as you're here, just, shield roll, just get out of the way.
Right.
As fast as you can. And yeah, right here too. This whole thing, all of this, is because you're not just like right here getting out of the way. You're trying to fight him when he's like coming down on you, and that's just a really bad idea.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that.
Okay, good laser reset. Why did you... Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, I got scared again.
Yeah, I see. It's like that's a pretty understandable laser to make, though. It's not a big deal. Okay, good full hop. Full hop is really good against Fox. Because he can't be above you if you're above him. So. This is the same thing as first stock with this laser. Just do laser and then just jump up late dare. You'll get so many openings here off of this exact spot.
Yeah.
Okay, good full hop out of the corner. This is one of those spots, like, when you get in close like this, he needs to feel that you are a psychopath who will spam moves here. like, and here too. Like, so he just keeps coming in because he knows that you want to reset. Because you want the consistency from the reset, which is a good goal, but once Fox is in this range, it's just mix-up time. It's how it is. There's not... You will not find any better option there than playing just a mix-up and going for, like, a dare or a shine or something.
Yeah.
Once he's in close, like, he's literally faster than you.
Yeah. I think this is where I started going way too much for just like retreating laser, just trying to reset. I'm not even noticing it, just subconsciously, just like trying to find some consistency. But
yeah, like right there. So he just starts getting way too confident in that. Okay, that was good. Yeah, almost every time you've been hit so far was not off like a laser interaction. Like basically the ideal Fox, like let's say you're playing perfectly and there's a Fox who's playing perfectly. Basically the majority of their neutral wins on you should be some kind of bizarre power shield interaction where they get some weird power shield and they get in, but like basically if they don't use a power shield, their only way to get in on you is to fall on you. And so if you remove that and you don't let him get any of these falling on you options, like you just roll out of the way or whatever, suddenly they're kind of stuck because like he hasn't really been doing any power shields. Like his openings aren't coming from power shields. And so if every time he got far away like this and you were just sitting here lasering, although okay, this situation got a little weird, but basically the idea is like he's just falling on you for the most part. That's how like the majority of these openings are happening. And they're not happening in spots where you didn't have a chance to get away. A lot of times it's like he'll get in a position above you and then you're just down to kind of fight it out. He falls on you, clips you. You're like, I'm clipped. I need to go reset. And then he just keeps pushing in on you over and over. Yeah. And that's kind of what's happening. So it's like if you don't allow him to clip you with these moves, there's a lot less pressure to go for these retreating lasers like you're doing because you're not going to be in that spot as much where Fox is right next to you.
That makes sense.
So this is that same spot again right here, just to reinforce it. There's no reason to not just keep lasering right here. Because all this dash dance did was like, you're like, look. So the laser gets you positive frames, right? And you're like, okay, 6. So I shoot this laser. He's still actionable. So it hits him. So you have like 12 frames or something to be 11 frames now because it hit him. So you have 11 frames to freaking like do something. And you want, like, think about it, you achieved part 1 of your success strategy. You hit him with the laser. So now you have positive frames. But if you don't use those positive frames to create a better position for yourself, either by like starting another move, like starting a laser, or by getting closer or whatever, if you don't do something with the laser, you basically didn't even shoot a laser. Because you're dash dancing during the frames that he's stunned, and now he gets to do whatever he wants, and you're in the same spot. So like the difference so like right here before you shoot this laser, right here, this situation, pretend you haven't just shot this laser yet. I just don't feel like going back again. But like, let's say you haven't shot this laser and he's dash dancing. This situation is exactly the same as this situation. Nothing has changed here at all because you didn't use those frames to do something. And that's why normally at this range, the answer is nice and simple. You just laser again.
Yeah.
Just keep laser.
Not even go in, just like laser from center.
Well, because like there's no reason why you necessarily need to go in because your lasers are kind of going in for you. Like it's kind of like you shoot a laser and you're like, I got a few frames of advantage, and then he's like, okay, what are you gonna do with them? And you're like, I'm gonna get another bunch of frames of advantage, and you can actually just repeat that forever until he either moves to a position that you feel like you want to approach him to, or you decide you want to approach. But basically, there's some Falcos, they end up in this spot where they're like, I hit a laser, and if I don't approach him right this second, I shouldn't even be playing Falco, you know? And it's kind of like, no, no, no. Once you connect the laser, your options are approach or keep lasering. And you can, you know, it's like a flowchart. You can loop the keep lasering option over and over and over until he gets some weird power shield. But a lot of times you can outplay the power shield situations anyway. Mm-hmm. So when my video comes out, it's like 15 minutes of explaining just this exact concept, and it'll be out in a day or two, so I think it'll help. But it is this, all it is the same concept, that basically your best option after you land this laser is to just laser again.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because not only is it getting damage, but he has to deal with it. Because that's the nice thing about Falco. That's one of the things I love about Falco is that, you know, yeah, his execution is difficult, but you get to decide what you're doing. The power of Falco is your opponent never gets to decide what they're doing. Most matchups in Melee and most characters, it's just like, hey, I'm going to do my thing, and you do your thing. And they kind of just smash into each other, you know? Mm-hmm. But with Falco, he's like, oh, I'm going to do my thing. And his opponent's like, I'm going to do my. And he just keeps tapping you with the laser. So you never get to do your thing. Every person who's ever played against Falco, the only thing they get to do is counter Falco's plan. Or counter what Falco is doing. And that is, like, super strong that, like, every time you shoot a laser at your opponent, to you, it's just, oh, I sat there and I shot one more laser at the exact same timing. But for your opponent, that laser is like another opportunity to mess up their tech skill. Another opportunity to accidentally dash and get hit by the laser in a position they didn't really want to. Another opportunity to try to power shield the laser and fail the power shield. And now they're shielding and you get a good approach. So every single laser has a chance to, like, affect your opponent negatively. And it doesn't really have a negative on your end, you know?
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like this spot right here, this is just aggro city. So
yeah, I gotta do the late down.
Yeah, exactly. Because one nice thing after you land this laser is if you just jump kind of straight up, Fox's shine like won't hit you from this position. As long as you don't, like, dash jump in. But right here, if you had just... Man. Let's see. Right
just
here.
Jump in place.
So right here, if you just jump straight up, and then you drift in late down air, he can't hit you with the shine from your jump. That's, like, one nice thing about Falco's short hop. Is if you can kind of jump here, he can't really shine you. He feels a lot of pressure to shield, and then he gets caught in the shield pressure stuff that you want. Mm-hmm. But because you don't do that and you go for this laser reset, and oh man, I've just done this exact pattern so many times, so don't feel bad. It's because like it all happens so fast, and you're like, okay, so literally a third of a second ago, my plan was to keep Fox away from me with the lasers. But now I shot my laser and he's right on top of me. And so the human response to that is to just keep going with your same plan because your brain hasn't really registered that it's time to change plans yet. Because it's only been like a third of a second. So it's kind of like, I understand making this decision, but just know that when you do... He does have a chance to hit you like in here, like he can dash at you and get like a short hop aerial before your retreating laser really comes out. But like let's say he doesn't and you get this laser here, your best case out of this laser, let's say he got hit by it. Let's say it was exactly what you wanted. It would be this.
This is the same thing, yeah.
Like this is the situation you just got and you ran away from it to create this. And you know, if he didn't shield here, it would have been basically the exact same situation. And so just showing that, like, that is kind of the issue with resetting here, and it's why I'm telling you to go for, like, kind of more aggro mix-ups when he gets in really close like that, is because you're not really going to get much better out of that. Like, he's already in close. If you move back, he can chase you faster than you can run. It's better to just try to hit him, go for a mix-up. It's pretty roughly 50-50 on the mix-up side. And a lot of times Fox's confirms off of his scramble, like, openings are a little bit harder to hit. Like, he'll have, like, a 1 or 2 frame window, and Falco's got, like, a 35 frame window or something, like, off of his shine. So, like, a lot of times when you're in close, these chaotic situations, the aggro just works so much better than trying to reset.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so this part's interesting because you actually super did like this really good neutral option where he's at this range, you laser, and then you just so you use this little dash dance, fine, but not a huge deal because he's so far away. Like, yeah, it wasn't great. It kind of didn't really make use of this laser, but you know, in practical play, that happens all the time. So I'm still fine with it. And you read him approaching with your laser. This needs to be a shine.
Yeah, no,
like,
totally. I just thought the same thing.
Basically, don't do an approaching laser without doing either a shine or an up tilt afterward, like, every time. Like, if you do an approaching laser, you should literally, like, approaching laser, shine, wave dash, like, without even really looking.
Right.
Not necessarily the wave dash, but at least the shine. So, okay, the fundamental thing it looks like in this matchup is you're not really aware of which openings or positions you want. And so it feels like your uncertainty about what you want kind of manifests in this weird, like, fear of the unknown / missing opportunities type thing. It's just, it's interesting that you would do that jump in laser without the shine. It's interesting that you would be, you'll get these perfect lasers on him where he's like right next to you, but you don't really know like what you're looking for out of those spots. So and you've done like a lot of those like laser nair at low percent. Low percent against Fox, honestly, you got like 3 options. And it's late down air, laser, and shine. Grab if they're being a jerk and they just hold shield for like 10 seconds. Like if they're really obviously shielding, or sometimes there's spots where you'll hit a laser and you can't get a dash JC shine, but you can get a grab. And in those spots, it's like, okay, you didn't really have an option. The laser is like the last resort fallback. But like really the late down air, the shine, and the laser are like, if one of those options is not, like, anytime you interact with Fox at low percent, one of those options needs to be, like, it needs to be on the table. Like, it needs to be, like there haven't been any points in this whole match so far where he avoided your late down air. Like, there just was not a single late down air in the video. Mm-hmm. And I also didn't see any running shines. And I also didn't really see any shield pressure except for that one you got at the beginning. So a lot of it is kind of you're running around, you're lasering him, but you're kind of letting him set up what he wants, and then you'll sort of fight into it and then hope you kind of get an opening. But what you want to do is when he's doing something that he wants, like he's going for these full hops over you and he's trying to drop on you, etc., stuff like that, you want to just leave. And you want to set up your stuff with the laser dash dance and the laser, which you're already kind of doing. But then once you do that, it's like, if you're going to interact with him, you better at least be trying to lay down here. You know, you better at least be trying to shine him.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you're shining after those lasers. And so... Nair in this matchup is a weird one, but what I will say is you don't need the Nair. It's interesting. There are spots in which Nair is the best option that you could be hitting him with, but you could be a very successful high-level Falco player against Fox and literally never Nair. It's not like a necessary piece of the mix-up. So I would say anytime you're thinking of nairing, I would much prefer you just go for a late down air. Like just short hop up, late down air, and then go for something off of that, because these are the moves that really get you stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this was good. This was good where you just kind of leave, like he's above you, and you're just like, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and like, yeah, if you had had a chance to shoot a laser here, this would have been a lot better than like you kind of ran away and did like a laser pretty late. Whereas like if you had done this where you ran here, short hopped right here and jumped away, or maybe like here, short hopped here away and shot a laser back at him, I would tell you that was like the perfect action here. Okay, you just kind of get chopped out of your laser. Something that also might help you is like strong back air becomes your best move as soon as Fox is over like 80 damage. So anytime this whole range here where Fox is kind of at higher percents, I just noticed that there's still like a lot of like, not at 60 here. 60 you're looking for like an early dare or something. Once again, there's this nair. This nair is just not that good against Fox. It looks so sick when it hits. Like, it feels great to hit the nair, but part of that is just because it's not that good. So, like, if you had dared here, this would have been a lot better. And I think you do dare afterward, and it works out better for you. Okay. Reaction tech chasing is more important than you might think. Remember, at this range, laser. Oh, wow, he's all the way over here. Laser, 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 like, literally.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, good approaching. Yeah, so late back air here is super interesting. So basically when Fox is at this percent, this is what I actually do. I do laser, and I do backflip laser, or I'll do like dash back, shield stop, backflip. I do this like a lot, and I'll do like backflip, laser, or late bear. And I just like repeat it across the stage until I get to them, and then I kill them.
Sorry, what do you mean by backflip?
Like short hopping backwards.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'll like in this spot I would like dash to the right, and then I short hop back this way. So my back is towards them, but I'm like moving to the left, and then I get to threaten a turnaround laser or a late back air.
Okay, that makes sense.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, just like either of those two.
Yeah, because the late back air becomes your best move as soon as Fox is like at these percents. It's almost at the point where, like, if I hit Fox with any other move at this percent, if I hit Fox with, like, a nair or a down air or even a shine, it's going to be an accident. I want to hit Fox with a bear at this percent, and I want to laser him. And then that's it. Like, I turn into a laser bear machine at this percent. And
yeah, gotcha.
Basically, I do laser bear only until Fox is at 130. When Fox is at 130 or above, jab knocks down. And at those percents, I do basically the laser, the back air, and the jab. And that's it.
Mm-hmm. So as a general rule, then, try to replace most of my nairs, if not all of them, with, like, a late back air, especially at later percents.
So replace all of your nairs below 80 with down air. And specifically late down air. Maybe below 50. Below 50, all your nairs should be late down air. Above 50, all your nairs should be like either early dare or late dare. And then above like 80, you should just never ever nair, like ever. Unless, you're doing like a full hop nair because he's way up here, that type of thing. That's different from this, So yeah, like the late back air is where it's at these percents. So yeah, no nairs at late percent. At low percent, replace the nair with the late down air. And these down tilts, like, this is just the type of stuff where you're like, man, it'd be nice if I could kill Fox. And it's like, don't worry, you have a move that kills him, and it's back air. So just to demonstrate right here, you would have gotten a kill if you had been doing it. So right here, where you do this this turnaround laser right here. This was so good, where you face away from him, jump back into him, and laser. Because then you have a 50-50 kind of, whereas if you jump back right here and you had you back aired here instead of the laser, he would have died. You would have just won the stock.
No, it's true. I guess it's just I have like an innate fear of like bearing like towards somebody drifting in, but if it's late, then that's not really a valid fear. So
yeah, it's just the fact that when he's at that high of a percent, like he like CCing the back air is not really gonna help him either. You know, like he can't CC grab you or anything like that.
Right. Makes sense.
Okay, so which Slippy would you like to go over next?
Honestly, I'd actually. Or go ahead.
No, or I was gonna say, or whatever you'd like to do next.
I guess I should have maybe thought of more stuff to do. But yeah, if you'd be down, I'd love to go over one of the earlier Falco Ditto VODs.
Okay.
That I sent you.
Which one?
Let's go over just the first one.
There's 4. Okay, the first one. Ooh. My draft of my video is up here. Nobody's allowed to see that.
Okay. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody.
Okay. Oh.
Oh wait, actually no. Okay, let me check. Let me check which one I sent you. Maybe I didn't send you those. 1 second.
Yeah, because you said here's a couple games against some unranked Falco. Maybe the second one?
Potentially the second one. Or maybe I just sent you the wrong VODs, which is...
The second one is a Falco Ditto. Let's go.
Yep.
Oh, it's against Key.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Yeah, I've ran into this guy on unranked. He's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait, which... I got confused. You're the one... You're this one?
Yeah, I'm player 2.
Okay.
The lighter one.
Mm-hmm. I just wasn't sure if it always did that on Slippy. Like the lighter one was player 2.
I apologize for the confusion.
No, you're good. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so... so this matchup... Dude, this matchup is so weird. This is like basically top 3 easily most complex matchups in the game. It's like extremely complicated in terms of like, because I can tell somebody, oh, do this laser here, but then the other Falco accidentally shoots a slightly higher laser and hits them or whatever like this, you know? So I think for the time being in this matchup, the strongest thing to do is just make sure you're doing like, not, I don't want to say all your mix-ups, but make sure you're not just repeating the same things too many times. And that is kind of my best advice for at this point in that matchup, based on like watching your Fox VOD of like where I think you're at pretty much. Mm-hmm. So just like an example right here, this laser into jumping in was pretty good. If you were really somehow super crazy here, you would realize that after this back air, you would see that he does start this up tilt. So he is telling you that he's afraid of you coming in immediately, and that's why he's up tilting. So someone who's afraid of their opponent immediately attacking them is not going to laser after this up tilt. Like, he's not going to up tilt, take laser, and then short hop laser you. Because he's afraid of you coming in, and the counter to short hop laser is you attacking him. So this is the type of information that you kind of have to use in the Falco Ditto. So if I was here and I hit this laser on this, I would either do laser, dash in, dash back, dash in, late dare, or just laser, jump, late dare. So you go for the nair here, but the thing is this nair is so good against Falcos who do go for this laser here, or a Falco who's like in the mental state where they want to go for this laser here, that this is fine. This nair is fine. So you dodge the back air, and you hit this laser on the up tilt again, but now this time it is kind of your fault, because like you just did laser, so he did back air, you lasered his landing leg. So he did back air up tilt. You lasered the up tilt, you nared in, and he shielded it. So now this time he lands with a back air, he does an up tilt, you laser it, and then you jump in. If you did a late nair, or especially a late down air here, it would have been perfect. I would have told you, like, that was, like, absolutely perfect. There's nothing you really could have done better. But because you go for the early nair again, and so it doesn't super work out. But that's the type of thing you want to be watching for in the ditto.
Right, right.
And another thing, just like the Fox ditto, you don't want to be the Falco getting dropped on, like, almost ever. So, why do I keep saying the Fox ditto? Just like Falco versus Fox, you don't want to be the one dropped on. So in the Falco ditto, this is a good decision that you're making here by not, like, interacting into this down air. Oh, I mean, maybe not that nair there, but... Okay. Okay. These situations are so tricky in the matchup. Like this short hop nair he does. Like, I'm going to be honest and tell you, I don't have a perfect solution for this. Like, when he does, like when they do this, like, off the side platform type mix-up. Honestly, a lot of times I think the best option in some spot like this is to, like, full hop waveland off this side plat and then get your own laser out or something like that. Because one thing Mango's really good here at mixing up, like, let's say this nair with short hop off laser, and a lot of times you'll try to, like, shield this nair or, like, up tilt it or something, and you'll just get lasered, and then he has this big pressure on you. So a spot like this, it's just kind of awkward. I think you can beat it with high laser, or you can kind of get out of the way and then come back in with your own laser. A lot of the time in this matchup, it's just who has laser control, and the one who has laser control, they're just kind of chilling as soon as they have it. They're like, oh, great, like, what are you going to do about it? And then the one who doesn't have laser control just wants to kind of move out of the way. And then when you're in a spot like this where they're coming off the platform, it's just really hard to, like, mitigate all the ways that they can laser. And so more often you want to just be, like, kind of, like, watchful of them, and then if they jump off, it's kind of like that thing I was saying, where, like, you want to be the one above them, you know, like against Fox. So, like, when he's doing this, he's definitely the one above you. But if you kind of go over and waveland on the platform and then come back down, then you're kind of the one above him.
Right, right.
And yeah, a lot of times Falco's just not very good at beating opponents who are, like, falling on him in general. Yeah. That's kind of a weakness of his character. Thankfully, he has a full hop that can make him above every character all the time.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay, so then, like, right here, it's mostly just... This is the perfect time to start lasering. Basically, if you are afraid, your opponent can stop your laser. Like, if they're close enough that you are afraid that they will be able to nair in or dare in or whatever to beat your laser, then laser is like a 50-50. Like, if they're close, you're like, okay, either they're going to attack me instantly, in which case they would beat the laser, or they're going to wait a split second, or, like, dash dance, you know, in which case my laser is a good idea. So if you're really close to them, your laser is basically a 50-50 on whether you think they're going to be super aggro. But if you're not super close, like if you're at this range where, like, even... So if you laser... let's see, where did it... You had a chance, like, right here. Instead of this nair. Right here. Like, if you have a chance to laser him, like, if you were right here, if you have a chance to laser in a spot where they can't interrupt the laser with an aerial or, like, a dash attack or whatever, if they can't get to you to stop your laser, that's like 100% to just use the laser. It's kind of like playing against Fox. But Falco obviously has his own laser, so that makes it trickier than playing against Fox. But if you laser him, you know, you have laser control, he can't get his lasers out, so that's good news for you. So basically, yeah, it's a 50-50 if you're in close. If you're not in close, there's not really a reason to not laser.
Gotcha.
So a lot of this matchup happens because it's kind of like one Falco gets laser control. He has no reason to stop lasering. The other Falco will kind of maybe look for a way out of the laser control in the moment, and then if they can't find one really fast, like maybe if I get lasered once, I might try to call out my opponent for dash dancing after and just shoot my own laser. But let's say like you like do like you do a laser and then the other guy does. Let me see. I kind of like lost my train of thought. There's too many talks of like laser.
I gotcha.
Okay, what was I saying exactly? Too many laser thoughts.
You were talking about how if I were to laser you, and then you would try to call out my dash dance, and then laser back. And
Yes.
then what I would do out
exactly. Of that. So if you're like, so even if you lose laser control, if you're like, I don't think they're going to immediately shoot another laser, you can get yours out. And a lot of times that is like the fundamental mix-up in this matchup is like who has more confidence to get their lasers out in certain positions, because the person with the laser advantage will, like, there, you got your laser out, and it's not really like Fox where Nair's not that good. Nair is insanely good against Falco. So laser Nair here, totally good. Laser again, okay. He goes to edge. Yeah, so once you get this laser, you know that these laser Nairs work, but if your opponent was playing super on point here, they would probably do something like they would take this laser and then they either double jump away or, yeah, but pretty much their only option here is to double jump away. But they're going to double jump away because they don't have any winning spots here, like, at all. Like, once you have hit them with the laser, unless they hard read that you're not going to shoot a laser and they get their own out, they're just doomed. And you already know this, which is why you just jump in with the Nair as soon as you hit the laser, because you're like, oh, this is a completely winning situation for me. But if you are this Falco, if you're the other Falco here, and this happens to you, your mindset should be like, oh yeah, like, they could just come in with anything. I'm totally messed here. I need to leave, and then maybe, double jump waveland, dash short hop, turn around laser. Now I'm the one with the lasers,
Yeah.
That's kind of just like the endless battle in this matchup.
Makes sense.
But honestly, like, so here's the thing. I've done a lot of lessons on the Falco Ditto, and I've put a lot of time into it. And, like, if you want my super honest opinion, I think it's not worth putting that much time into at the current skill level you're at. A big part of that is just because a lot of the matchup is, like I said, it's really complicated based on all these weird little laser spacings, and it's kind of just dependent on how good your Falco is in general. And so, like, playing the matchup for fun and stuff like that is good, but a lot of times, once you know the concept that, like, oh, I got a laser, I have a big advantage, which you already pretty much know. Like, the biggest flaw people can have in this matchup is they play too passive, and the other Falco just kind of, like, eats them up. But you're not playing too passive. You know that you're supposed to get your lasers here. So a lot of it is just going to be dependent on, like, your ability to shoot specific height lasers, your ability to, like, position and combo really hard. Like, this first stock should have just been, like, super ultra combos for both of you. So, yeah. So Key gets a hit. He messes it up. He messes up a second combo there. And then you're kind of, like, messing up your combo. And if you're playing Falco Dittos and, like, you're not both just dying out of every shine, the clearest path forward is just get good tech skill, get good at comboing so I can kill them every time. And you'll just, like, super shoot past all the Falco Dittos that you don't need to actually really worry about for now.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's just, there's too much, like, if somebody puts a lot of time into this matchup, and then they get a little bit better, the matchup will feel totally different. Like, that's how it's basically been my whole time playing Falco. And I feel like the most I improve in the Falco Ditto is when I just get better tech skill. Like, I'm better at playing against Fox, etc. And then it's just like, oh, okay, now I'm better at the Falco Ditto. And, yeah, that's my best shot for that.
That makes a lot of sense. I think like yeah, there's probably just like fundamental stuff going on with me that goes beyond just my Falco Ditto
Yeah, I would say
experience.
just focus on the punish and the ditto for now. You understand that whole laser thing? It's basically if you get a laser, you're gonna like pressure them, and if they laser you, you want to full hop or otherwise like get out of the way, and then you try to get your own laser pressure. And once you have, it's just that and punish game for like for like forever, pretty much, until
That
you
makes
maybe you're like top 3 or 4 Falcos in the world. So
it's a big ladder.
until that inevitable day, I think that this is pretty much what you should worry about. I would worry much more about the Fox matchup, and I think that it helps. It'll help you improve a lot more as a Falco player in general to kind of grind out the Fox matchup than it will the Falco Ditto.
Totally.
Okay, we're about at an hour. Do you have any last questions or thoughts or anything like that?
I mean, I really hate questions like these, so I apologize in advance because I know
Nah,
it's a
dude,
little
you're
bit
good.
broad.
Ask me anything.
But it's like I guess from your perspective, okay, and I'll give an example of what I already like to do because I feel like one of the weaker, one of my weakest elements is my punish. I feel it's extremely inconsistent at
hmm
times, and the best way that I've been or what I've been doing to practice more often with punish is just like Uncle Punch, like the combo training, and I have
hmm
like relative success with that, but I still haven't felt like my punish has leveled up significantly in like the past year or two. Is there like
hmm
another better way? I know that like looking at VODs and being like, oh, I could have done this there, I could have done X
Okay, yeah.
here.
Okay, yeah. That's not a bad question. I don't know why you're saying that.
Because I know
um,
that people just ask like, how do I improve my punish? And it's like so open ended
well,
and
okay, maybe for other people that's a bad question, but I can actually answer stuff like that.
okay, cool.
So, the way you actually get better at punishing with Falco, there are like specific bottlenecks where the VOD review is relevant. Like I remember it took a lot of VOD review for me to start doing like the single hit up air shine on FD, which is pretty basic, but when I was first learning it was really tough for me to get that, and I had to keep seeing VODs of me and being like cringing at myself and being like, "Oh, that definitely should have been a single hit up air shine." So there's
Hmm.
those few little bottlenecks, but otherwise, and I noticed this a lot while I'm watching your Falco, your tech skill is pretty bad. Like
Yeah.
relative to like the player pool of like people who know like spacing, like the spacing and stuff you're doing, your tech skill is probably your weakest aspect relative to other players around your skill level from what I can see. Um, and a lot of times just improving your general tech skill will help um, you get better punish game with Falco. A lot of times Falco has such a big window to hit stuff that it's more important that you just smoothly hit people and keep moving than really thinking of the exact perfect move to use in a specific situation. Um, in my experience, the best way to get good punish game is play against one matchup only and have some period of time where you grind for a lot longer than would necessarily be good. So, for instance, like when I want to make my punish game really good, I will literally play against like Fox for like 5 hours.
Wow.
And here's the thing: is you don't need to do it all the time. It just needs to be sometimes, because all it is you need to do it enough times in a day. It's kind of like, like let's say you're like working on like an assembly line, and like an old school assembly line where you're using your hands or something like that. Okay, just run with it.
Yeah.
So you're using your hands and you're doing some factory work that needs repeating a bunch of times. And let's say like once every 3 minutes, or like not every 3 minutes, like let's say like a few times a day, you like do have to do something where you like move a part from here and you put it in the box and you open this thing up and you move this here, whatever, some sort of repetitive action that you're kind of doing. Um, the people who get really good at that, it's like you're not. It's a lot of times it's like consecutive hours. It's like doing it for like multiple hours straight until your brain starts optimizing subconsciously. Of like, oh, I can just do that faster. Like you almost want to feel, you don't want to feel excited about your combos while you're in this period of training. Like you don't want to get a combo and be like, oh, what can I make with this? Like what can I cook up? You want to just hit a combo and be like, all right, go Falco, do shine down air, you know, like, and it needs to feel very like kind of boring to combo. And that's what you want. You want your brain to just turn, like basically turn off the actual interactions of the game, kind of fade into the background, and you're just sort of pressing buttons and getting that fluidity. And a lot of times when I go through these periods where I do that, and you don't need to do it a lot of times. It's sometimes it's like 1 or 2 days where I'll take a bunch of time, and it doesn't need to be 5 hours straight, you know. Just 1 or 2 days where you're grinding really hard in like one matchup, and you're just not paying attention to anything except, man, I want to hit them hard. Like a general idea that you want to hit them hard, and then just let your hands go. And you know, it's kind of like riding a bike where once your hands can kind of go and they know what it's like, in a week when you haven't played the game in a week and you come back and you do it, your hands are like, oh, here we go again, you know. But this time your brain is engaged while your hands do their autopilot thing, you know.
Right.
So
that makes a lot of sense.
That is my personal perspective on how to get good fast at a punish game.
And you're saying like this is practicing just against an actual other player. And
yeah, I think that Uncle Punch combos are more for like, if you're like, man, I play a Samus in bracket and I've literally never played a Samus in my life, and you go into Uncle Punch and you practice comboing a Samus a little bit or something like that. I don't think that like practicing comboing Fox in Uncle Punch is particularly super useful. That's compared to like mindless combo grinding against, you know, your friend or unranked.
For sure. And with that said, do you think that's also potentially a good way to level up my tech skill as well? Just because.
Oh, like, yeah. It's like the same thing. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, gotcha. Because I've been playing for long enough that I know I mess up stuff that I still shouldn't, and I practice like, you know, more than I think the average casual competitor would.
If you think about it, like with Falco, like what is combo game? And it's just basically, it's like, can you hit a dare that like, if your dare hits your opponent, can you L cancel it and shine on your first actionable frame? And can you wave shine out of that, you know? And it's kind of like, if you can get that really smooth, you can consider that tech skill. But when your tech skill is, you'll notice when your tech skill starts getting better, if you really grind this out and your tech skill starts speeding up, you won't have to improve your punish. You'll just be like fighting people, and Falco will start comboing like crazy because you're like, man, I have an hour to get over there, and then I just tell my hands, do it down air shine wave dash, you know, and your hands will do it, and then technically that's, you know, a combo.
Dang, yeah, that actually it's like weirdly motivating to know that is a potential like solution or like a potential level up. So I will definitely be, at least from now until I feel a little bit more comfortable, just be grinding out the Fox matchup.
Okay, yeah, awesome. And if you have any extra questions or you're confused about anything, you get a clip that you're confused on, feel free to send it to me and we can, you know, chat about it a little bit in Discord text or whatever.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you so much. This was extremely helpful.
Yeah, awesome, man. No worries. I will send you my PayPal or my payment info right now.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
All right, sick. Talk to you later.
Peace. Yeah, man. See ya.